Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. I am Joanna Intara Zim, and today is December 31st, and it is the last day of 2016. And it is also the 366th day of this epic soul adventure that I have been on this year, that you have been on with me. I think I'm just gonna wait just a few minutes here. Not a few minutes, just a few moments to let people get on here. If you are here, can you show me some love, send some hearts? I know who you are, and that you're here. So some of you know, some of you might be new to this, that I have been on a journey this year. The subject of today's topic is, hi Mark, great to see you. Happy New Year to you. Today's topic is sitting back, waiting for your fears to dissolve. Part 2, the 366th day, love wins. So a year ago, and probably for a good chunk of my life before that, I had spent a lot of time in fear. Some of it was conscious and some of it was extraordinarily unconscious. It would come out in other ways, when we are living in times such as these, which got called the age of terrorism and all of that. We humans are at a really critical point of how do we do relationship when fear comes up, and a lot of what we see in the world is violence and a lot of intensity and just so much challenge. And I was seeing that pattern in myself. I was seeing it in my relationships with other people. And last year, I think due to kind of taking spirituality the wrong way, I just had this idea that one day my fears would just naturally dissolve. It was like they would just somehow leave my system. I would no longer have fear-based thoughts or anxieties or anything about that. Hey, yeah, Joy. So great to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you for your journey too. This Joy has done an amazing journey of 366 days of gratitude, and we've been supporting each other and cheering each other on all year, and she's just finished up her year as well. So this is a woman that knows what it's like to focus on something for a whole year, right? Yeah. I couldn't stand myself anymore last December. I was like, I cannot spend more time engaged in fear. It really is like a giant suck. And it wasn't overt. There were subtle ways. I, as a person who's been in the healing work industry, done multiple different kinds of therapies and healing sessions and journeys and ceremonies and practices and all of that. Even spirituality didn't touch it on a certain level. So I was just like, this cannot go on. This cannot go on. It's like, I cannot carry this forward into this year. I have too much living to do. And I'm curious if anybody who's watching has ever gotten to that stage and just been like, that's it. Like, it's just, resolve is going to happen now. And we are absolutely going to have to end this. So what happened for me was last year, hey, John Berrigan, great to see you. Happy New Year to you. I've really been an introvert most of my life. I think I just hung out on the interior sanctuary and just decided like that was what I was gonna do in life. I was gonna just be in the cave and meditate, and I had a number of experiences that kind of got me out of that. And I decided that this year was the year I needed to really connect more with people. And hi, Ingrid Arna, beautiful goddess. Everybody meet Ingrid Arna. She's my awesome coach. Thank you, love. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year's Day. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna just put some serious skin in the game, and that became a theme of the year where I was going to commit every single day to working with this. And so I started to create this little Evernote document where I started to write down every fear I could imagine. And lo and behold, right, when the container is there, then the medicine comes, the information comes. It's like, okay, I'm going to open my psychic inbox. And once my psychic inbox was open, fear said, hey, I want you to see this, and I want you to see that, and I want you to look at this, and there are these fears. And so like categories of fears that we all deal with on some level or another, but nobody really talks about it. Jamyang Chanmo, hi, thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like shame fears. I spent a whole month dealing with shame fears. Thank you. Good luck to you too, Jamyang. Good luck to you. What country are you in, by the way? I think you're somewhere abroad, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so I spent 30 days on shame fears alone. The fear of different kinds of shame. And then it was like all the parenting fears came up. Fear of fucking up my kid, and fear of losing it, and fear of not being perfect, and fear of whatever. And so what happened was my introvert started to shift. I was like, okay, I don't have to be an introvert anymore now, let alone the beginning of last year. You're from India. Well, it's New Year's Day to you there. That's wonderful. Are you in northern India? I think you might be in northern India, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I'm planning a trip to India next year, actually. For any of those that are interested in coming with me, it will be a pilgrimage in the north of India to all the beautiful goddess sites. So maybe we'll meet you there, Jamyang. I started to get comfortable writing. I didn't think that I had a good writing voice. You're in Sikkim in the north. Okay, that's good to know. Well, we'll connect. I'd love to connect with you, Jamyang, after this live broadcast. I started to write, and just writing every day was a huge practice. Being willing to sit down and put pen to paper, keyboard to screen, and just start writing. And that's just started to get things going. So I started to meet a lot of new people. I started to open up. I started to share things that I knew people were talking about, but that weren't being voiced publicly. And, you know, if we just look around, there are so many syndromes that we can see from not dealing with our fears more caringly with each other. We do not know how to do care for each other as human beings. It's like, this is the thing we're working on. It's like we're either going to destroy each other and ourselves with not caring for ourselves, or we're going to really care for each other, and we're going to become more tender-hearted and more compassionate, which is what the Dalai Lama has said over and over again. Like, this is that his religion is kindness and compassion. So this was my aim, and I set about to pursue it. And I started to have people write to me and say, look, I don't feel comfortable on a thread, but can you address this? And so, for example, those were a lot of the fears around sexuality. If you go to my website, www.joannatransformation.com or yoursacredtransformation.com, you'll see all 365 days of working with these various fears that are all in there. And so just making the decision to do this for a whole year, it's like, first of all, my first fear was I fear that I can't do it. It's like, I can't do it. And that became a metaphor and a symbol of all the parts of me that had that story going on of, I can't do it, right? How many of us have some part somewhere like, I can't do this? And so that got healed. And then the next fear was, well, I'm crazy. I fear that I might be crazy for actually committing to doing something for 366 days for this whole year. There's an extra day, right? Because we had a leap year this year. And then there was the fear that other people thought I was crazy. So they started to come. And the more that my inbox was open and willing, which is a wonderful gift, is that the more the materials like, hey, I'm here. Will you address me? Will you take care of me? Will you talk with me? And so that's what started to happen. And so this really upped my vibration, and it upped my level of commitment in my life, and it also upped my standards. One of the things I like that Tony Robbins says is, if you want to change your life, change your standards, raise your standards. So that's what I did. And so raising my standards and increasing my vibration and my commitment, like that had dramatic effects across everything. I exercised this year more consistently than I ever had. My commitment to healthy eating was the most synthesized this year than it had ever been in the years before. My relationship to my spiritual practice just became solid in a way and more revealing in a way than it ever had. And doing this actually also gave me the empowerment to leave behind all kinds of fear, entanglements, and relationship syndromes that I was in. For example, I was part of a spiritual community where there was just some really dark, shadowy things going on and nobody was talking about it. And I was, moved out of that community. And that was because I got healthier and no longer was willing to stay quiet. That also led to a release, for example, for myself, just to be transparent, of all kinds of caretaker, narcissistic relationship dynamics, which completely exist out of fear. I've been a very good caretaker to narcissistic patterns, and that completely ended for me this year because I was working on the fears in all these ways, and it didn't always add up and make sense what shifted or where I felt more free. But the practice, for those of you that do practices daily, you'll know that practices support you. It's not about perfection. In fact, even monks and nuns in their 90s still call it meditation practice. They do not call it meditation perfection. So there were days where I felt like, that post on that fear thing, it was all right. Like, it wasn't grand. It wasn't like, perfect, but it was practice. It was practice, and it was lubricating the wheels of my own inner self-reflection in a way that really needed it. So I'm really glad that I did it. Confidence just grew, and some of you who were following these in July know that when July hit, or the end of June, my daughter became really, really ill because of dehydration due to the flu, and her kidneys stopped working. And so we were suddenly in the hospital, being transported by emergency ambulance with massive amount of fear and people being afraid for us, which was totally understandable. And we didn't know when her kidneys were going to come back online. She had to receive dialysis in the intensive care unit. And it was a great work, and I'm glad I'd had 6 months of practice of like, okay, what do I really want to have happen here? And at that time, some of you know, I invited people to, joy, vibration, commitment, raising vibration higher. It's been a journey for you as well, I'm sure, and I can't wait to talk to you and hear more with, what your discoveries have been. Hi, Ingrid's auntie. Hello. Hello, it's so great to have you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Where was I? Oh yeah, my daughter. So thank you, Ingrid's auntie. What's auntie's name? Very pro. Thank you. That's really sweet. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. You have a wonderful niece. Oh my gosh. I'm sure you guys are having a wonderful time. So what I learned during this time with my daughter was that instead of everyone give me their fears, which she could feel because she is so Kiri. Hi, Kiri. I love that name, Kiri. I have to find out what that means, Kiri. Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Let's see. So we asked people, it was like, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg did this thing, right, where if somebody is not having a good time or there's a lot of activity on a post, the algorithms actually up that post. So what happened was, within a day of us announcing what happened, the post had been shared like 50 something times, and then messages and posts, and people started to post. So it was like the post got around, and I said, look, I understand you're afraid. I'm afraid too. I could be afraid, really, really afraid, right? Your daughter's kidneys are not working. You're like, what the hell? Like, is she gonna have like some kind of permanent kidney thing, being in dialysis? And I was like, I cannot engage this. And I really want to invite that to be taken and received here. It's like, if there's something that's not working for you, there's a reason that we have unsubscribe in our email, right? It's not just to get rid of email lists that we don't want. I want to have an unsubscribe button that I push when I need to get out of something. It's like a subscription service, right? I've subscribed to fear. How many of us have subscribed to fear? How many of you have subscribed to a fear? Fear, anxiety, insecurity, worry. It doesn't even have to be fear. It can be the thing that in the privacy of your own mind sitting there that you subscribe to as well, right? Like, for example, maybe you subscribe to love, worthlessness, or feelings of low self-esteem that you have. And we can really unsubscribe. It's like, I am no longer subscribed to that. I just unsubscribe. I am not going to do that anymore. So instead, we ask people, use your heart space, use your mind space, use everything that you have to please write in the comments section of the update about my daughter and let us know that you see her healthy. Prayers to see her healthy, visualizing her kidneys working. And we actually did this with my daughter because she woke up in the hospital after having a catheter put in her leg and said, "Mommy, what happened to me?" Because they give the little girls, or the kids, maybe the adults too, they give them ketamine. It was really strong and it was very concerning. And I said, "Well, your kidneys went on vacation. They went on vacation, and I need you to call them back. I need you to call them back right now." And so she piped up, you know, my little daughter, so sweet. She's 5. Her name is Pema. And she just like got her little sassy on, and she just piped up and she said, "Kidneys?" And she just like, you know, it was kind of like this. And she said, "Kidneys, you come back here right now, kidneys. You come back here right now." And I was like, oh my gosh, it just felt so good. I could tell that her nervous system shifted. And so I knew that if all the people who were watching us and who were responding to us could actually go there with us, it would be like this collective healing miracle for not only my daughter, but for the people that were watching as well. And this is what people shared with me afterwards and said, you know, look, you asked us to voice these things, and it was really for your daughter, but really the truth is I really felt like I got a healing from it as well. And so that just made me so happy, and I want to bring the wisdom of that forward and have it be useful for service in the year ahead. So fear-based relationships shifted, and the structures around them shifted. And here's the next thing that really got to me that I want to share with you, which is that momentum is a gorgeous thing. Momentum, for me, in this journey, led to ascension. So the first month I was getting myself going, getting my systems going. How was I going to do this? How was I going to actually each day find the time? What if I went on vacation? I can't break my commitment. I'm not going to break my commitment because I want to really be with this in a way that's transformative. So around the third or the fourth month, I noticed that there started to be some kind of momentum. It was like when you really stick with something and you channel all your passion into whatever that thing is, whatever that urgent call is, momentum happens. And you can't have momentum until you really are in, you know, the depths of this thing, and it gets going and it gets going. And it's like there's something about momentum that after a certain point, it's like a natural ascension starts to happen. And I started to feel that because my body felt different. My nervous system felt different. My heart felt different. The way that I noticed that I was breathing was different. So for example, if you're dealing with insecurity and anxiety and fears, right, your breathing is different. If you notice, like if you really take the time to notice how your breathing is different when you have anxiety and fear, it's lifted, it's more jagged, it's not as calm or centered. So the shifts that started to happen in my nervous system, I felt different. So I can definitely tell you that rewiring happens. And I am wondering if anybody has had experience with that. Can you tell me if you have? Curious. And, you know, it wasn't about like, it wasn't about annihilating the fears either. I want to really clear that up. People were like, oh, well, you just can't get rid of fears, you know, and you can't really do that. And I want to say that it wasn't about annihilating fears. Like if somebody comes to work with me and says, you know, I have a lot of fear or anxiety or terror, how can you help me get rid of that? And I just say, well, I can't help you annihilate it. That's not going to work. That's the masculine way. The feminine way builds relationship to it. So I said, I can't help you annihilate it and cut it out like surgery. I can help you and be a guide for you to support the healing of it by building the context of the things that are most powerful to be in relationship with it. So that included the love. So every day I focused on practices or a simple quote. By July, I had started to raise my confidence that in August, I think I did my first video. Maybe I was terrified of doing video. And I was like, this has got to change. Like, I had to start sharing this through video because there are things that don't come out through writing. I'm reading what you wrote and reviewing Right, using fear and gently releasing. Yeah, exactly. 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 The gentleness is so important. That brings the compassion and the tenderness and the exquisite sensitivity that we all need. Hey, Carla Wynn Hall. Happy New Year to you. Hope you have enjoyed your sweet time with your family. I've been following your posts. Really sweet to see you. I know you were looking forward to your chicken last night. Hope it was good. Um, so, growing love as the context, growing love as the context is so important. If you have something you want to shift, it doesn't usually go away by annihilation. It grows by the context shifting, working through the blocks and allowing the healing enough, though at times it was painful. I worked through some similar processes. Wow. So true. So true, Joy. I'm sure so much opened up for you. I can't wait to hear more. So the other thing that I noticed was that I started to spontaneously, let me talk about mindset here, okay? And the forgotten, acknowledged thing in the coaching industry of heart, what I'm going to call heart set. So mindset's talked a lot about in this industry. What's your mindset? What's your business mindset? What's your money mindset? What's your love mindset? All of that, right? And I did notice that as I practiced it, whatever we put in our projector minds just starts to create a different movie. So it's like, okay, well, let's see what happens. By July, which was like 6-7 months into it, right? Approximately 280 versions of this practice in different contexts. I noticed that spontaneous confidence started to arise, and spontaneous happiness started to arise, and spontaneous feeling good started to arise. And I was just like, wow, like this is so nice. I love this. This feels great. I'm going to do another whole year afterwards. And, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. I mean, I kind of have an idea, but it won't be 366 days. But who knows? Anything is possible. But even more powerful, I want to say, than the mindset, and I really would love to help this idea get out into the industry, is about heart set. Like, we talk about mindset, but this is built on this. This is built on this. You do not build a skyscraper from the top down. It's kind of like trickle down economics. It just doesn't work. So when we build a skyscraper, we build it from the ground up, right? So if our heart, and there's more underneath that as well, but if our heart is filled with love and compassion and tenderness and all the juicy, wonderful things that can come from our heart, our care, our joy, our delight, our happiness, our sweetness, like it is ever really said. That's funny, Carla. It's true, right? Well, maybe just only in each moment. What do we study in each moment that we most need for our evolution? What do we study in the moment in our mind? Because it is a powerful harness. Heart set, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Joy. Heart set, like, where is my heart right now? Where is my heart with my fears? Where is my heart with my anxiety? Where is my heart with my little insecurities? Where is my heart? Where is my heart? I had to really get with that all year, and the work of deciding that love was what was going to work best with fear really helped. It really, really helped so much. Love with the fear was the heart set. And so literally it was like, there's a beautiful quote by the Tibetan Buddhist nun, Pema Chodron. Has anybody heard of her? You know Pema Chodron? She wrote a wonderful book called The Wisdom of No Escape. The Wisdom of No Escape. And she says, when the heart speaks, the mind is quiet. When the heart speaks, the mind is quiet. So when my heart was just like, I'm going to love every place inside me, every thought or whatever, when I feel fear, the mind took care of itself. It became more effortless, more relaxed, more centered, all of it. So I just want to invite that. Like, we don't have to focus so much on our mindset. Like, let's let the more, like, our heart is more centered in our body. If we walk in our mindset, we have to work really hard to get it like right here, and then to have it float down here, and have it then be in our heart, and then get it all the way down to our power center, and then our gut, and our sexual center, and our root chakra, and all the way. I mean, that's a long journey down. It might make it like trickle down economics makes it, but let's be honest, like, insight is the weakest link to change. So if there's a way to get our heart online, and this is what this journey taught me, I think it's really a lot more effective, definitely a lot more effective. And the other thing I want to share is that um, working with converting, transforming fear, love, I noticed that my energy shifted. I am a person that is known as having a lot of energy. Part of that comes from working with resistance and letting go of all resistance, with opening and surrendering and relaxing and allowing. I have two small children, if you don't know me, who are 5.5 and 8.5, a boy who's the oldest and a girl, a marriage, a home, a spiritual practice, a deep desire for personal self-care, for nourishing, soulful friendships, for exercise every single day. And I'm also extraordinarily passionate about service. That is why I'm here. It's the only thing I've ever done. It's a calling, not a career or even a vocation or anything like that. It's really a thing. And so my transition from offline practitioner, which I still am, to more online, setting up the infrastructure for that has taken tremendous energy. I had no idea. I mean, my respect for people who have a successful, thriving online business is like super, super, super high. And my energy to put that into place was off the chart. Like, it was off the chart. I had so much energy, and I had so much passion. I just felt so much freer and so much more lit up. So my invitation really is for you, whatever the thing is that most wants to shift, like whatever the thing is in your heart and your soul and your being, your challenges, your relationships, the thing that you get stuck that has in common everywhere as you, what is it? What is it that most calls for urgent transformation? What is it that would like to shift? What is it that if it changed and shifted for you would change your life and you would never ever be the same again? Because I can tell you right now, I am walking into 2017 with a completely different, I'm not dealing with fear. Or if I am, I'm dealing with it on really minute levels that, will continue to go after because of the momentum that's already going. But 2017 is opening up for me in a whole different way already. So I just really want to ask you, what is the place in you that calls for ascension? What is it? And I'm wondering what you're willing to give to it. And if you're not willing to give to it, then the question becomes, can you afford not to? Can you afford not to give the thing in you that most calls for transformation what it really, really needs? Now, I'm not suggesting that you spend 366 days or next year 365 days focusing something. I'm not suggesting it either. Is there anybody who is watching who actually would consider addressing a particular piece of themselves for 366 days? You can send me some hearts if you will. It is not for the faint of heart, for sure. This is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the uncommitted. It is not for those who really don't want to transform all the way. Hi, John Berrigan. Happy holidays to you. You rock too. You rock too, brother. You definitely rock too. So I'm just inviting you into considering what it could be like and what even would you do? What would you do? So I feel quite teary. This is my last post of this, at least for this year. And I'm sure that I will turn it into some kind of service offering for people in the time ahead. And there's a part of me that wants to say I'll miss it, that I will miss this. Thank you, John. To you too, and happy birthday to Scott. Happy birthday. I will miss this on a certain level. I will miss connecting with all of you and getting your questions, asking me to focus on a certain fear. Kind of think of a lot that we didn't cover: environmental, sex fears, death fears, partner fears, relationship fears, love fears, being seen fears, exposure fears, shame fears, kid fears, all kinds of things, learning thing fears. I'm sure there are more, right? So I want to acknowledge and say thank you to all of you who have been with me this year. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't have done this without you. People just like write to me and say, there was a woman who wrote to me like around day 300, and she said, I just want you to know I've been watching these all year long, and they've been fantastic, and they've really helped me, and I look forward to getting your, post each day on fear and working with it. And so I just really want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with me, for being willing to be a witness and being on this journey with me. Thank you so much. Like, really, that was huge for me. There were some days where I was like, is anybody out there? Am I crazy? Am I still crazy, for doing this? And I want to thank a lot of my friends who really encouraged me and gave me good mojo and loved me and got the profundity of what I was doing. And also the new friends that I have made along the way. I made a lot of new friends this year, not just like Facebook friends, but there are people that I've met through Facebook who I have no doubt will be like super soul ally, deep, amazing friends in the years to come. And that is a huge, precious, precious gem. And because of the work and the way that we met, the vibration is different, the alignment is different, the commitment is different, and the standards are different. So if you are ready to call in a different tribe or a more awakened tribe or evolved tribe, try focusing on something that really raises your vibration and your standards, because then that can happen. The other people that I would like to thank are all the courageous warriors who were doing this along with me. Sometimes people would say, oh yeah, I worked with that one yesterday, or I dealt with that one last year, or something like that. And I know how much courage it takes to sit down every day and be like, okay, I am going to face this one today. I'm going to face that one today. I'm going to face that one tomorrow. And like, if I was going on vacation where I didn't have Wi-Fi for a while, I would sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to focus on like 8 of these at once. And it was like, oh my gosh, like immersion experience, total immersion experience. And lastly, but certainly not least, I don't know who's watching, but I would like to really thank my family for putting up with me, and especially my hubby, who was super supportive and holding space for me to do this work. Certainly were many times I was like, I can't do this right now because I got to work with my fear thing today, and he would be really supportive and patient. So thank you, sweetheart, for being such an awesome support. You were amazing, and I appreciate all the ways that you support me. Thank you. And I am wondering if I have any outstanding questions from anybody this year about this. We're just almost here. Or if I missed something about this that you want me to speak about. If you're there, you could let me know. It's funny, I'm kind of like just here looking into this camera, and I'm like, okay, who's out there, and is there anything left? I don't think so. I don't think so. If this has been valuable for you, send me some hearts, show me some love, and let me know. And I want to wish all of you the deepest, most sacred, beautiful, like heartfelt turning over of this year, and just using the let go opportunity of a New Year's Eve holiday to say goodbye to whatever needs to go. Thanks, John. Thank you. And just let it all transition and let it all go. Like, just let this let go opportunity be a great portal for you and for all of that which needs to go, and for those of you you love. And I'm just so an appreciation for you all, and so much gratitude. And I think that's it. I think that's it. So yeah, good to see you all, and much love, much love, and onward, to amazing soul adventures in 2017. Okay, take care. Bye, buddy. Bye-bye.